2. Now we're live.
Wonderful.
Eric, please
So
Damn,
Nick,
dude,
introduce.
cut
what were you
Eric
saying
off
about
after
immigrants again?
Slur.
Eric, please introduce this episode. Oh, jeez. So something about heteronormative families being unacceptable, Nick, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you
That's
cut
so
Eric
right.
off mid slur, so it's not like anybody was any better. And James, what you were talking about a
No,
company called
I'm normal.
Doomsday
I'm
Miners
chill.
or something?
I'm
Like
chill.
that's
What the
you're on.
fuck? Listen, Eric. What is this?
It was
episode
your
about?
mining and excavation
It's
company.
Chain Family Clock. Nick,
Okay,
actually,
so-
before we even get to Eric, Nick, what do you think this means?
So I was told that the chain represents DNA,
Mhm.
the family represents family,
Mhm.
and the clock represents clock.
I mean, there's a lot of
Okay.
places this could go, but is it just like, is lifetime
So,
genetic? Is that where we're
DNA,
going?
family, clock. DNA, family, time. Time until genetically selected offspring.
Nick's close.
Like eugenics, you mean?
Are we doing eugenics or are we doing like designer babies?
Oh, like self-imposed eugenics.
More the second one, but with maybe implications to the first. depending on
Maybe
how
just
discussion goes.
maybe just hit us with the actual. What is this about?
Oh,
it
designer
was-
babies are eugenics.
Yeah. So the
Eugenics.
thought was it goes back to our last episode where we touched on it briefly with the first surrogate womb as non-human. So with Pally the sheep, I think it was, right?
Dolly the sheep.
Polly
Dolly
Dolly.
the sheep. Dolly the sheep.
Dolly the sheep, the clone.
Dolly the sheep, the clone. And it made me think, if we can use sheep as like surrogate mothers, so we no longer need a human mother, and we can get egg donations and sperm donations, we could just start making people with neither parent.
And then, like, what's the controversial part? Is that okay?
What? This is supposed to be a controversial.
Well, my thought process is Japan's going through a severe aging crisis right now, where their younger people aren't having kids, and their population is getting older and older. And so I thought, instead of doing what they're currently doing, which is, I think the most recent thing I heard was they're going to start making a singles tax in Japan.
Yeah.
As in, if you're
That already
single-
exists.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure how recent that was and how high it is. But all I know is that if you're single in Japan, you actually get taxed more now.
Yes.
So like we have tax breaks for married couples and tax returns and child support payments. That's just a
Yeah.
tax on singles.
Yes, but Nick, I mean like they're making a actual physical tax for being single.
Okay, hear me
Yeah, no,
out.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
hear
it
me out.
already exists in Canada.
I think
No.
before we get into the real
Nick,
topic here.
not like, oh, singles get taxed more because they don't get breaks. I mean, the government is making a tax to specifically put on single people.
Okay, Eric. That's the same thing.
Completely different, Nick.
They're labeled differently.
No,
They're
okay,
orchestrated differently. But if
Japan
I take a 1/4-inch ratchet and tighten a bolt by 90 degrees, and I take a 3/8 ratchet and tighten a bolt by 90 degrees, the bolt gets tightened by 90 degrees.
Yes, but Japan is gonna put both on you. If you're single in Japan, you're not getting the tax breaks, and they're making a tax specifically for you. You have to pay more money for being single, on top of not getting the tax breaks.
Interesting. So, I think that where this needs to go naturally is, what do we do about tax breaks? Like, if you are, for instance, unemployed, but you're trying to be employed, you get unemployment benefits. So I should get benefits for being single, but trying to not be single. Like, I don't know.
You're not trying to.
I mean, listen,
You're
whoa.
trying to be
I
single.
bought a whole fucking hat to advertise my singleness to wear on my goddamn forehead. If that's not looking for love, I don't know what is. But anyways, you see my point? It's like, sure, tax people for being single, but if they're trying... Wait, actually, no, don't do that. That feels wrong. Because what about, aromantic, asexual people? It's fucked up.
Yes. but so is Japan's aging population, and they have no solutions for it. So
Yeah,
this is their
that is pretty
solution.
All right, so
But
we're going
instead-
to eugenics.
Instead of taxing them,
Mhm.
they could just be making people.
You know what? I'm on board. You don't need to pitch
You
anything
could
else
just,
to me. I'm here. I'm for it.
Now, imagine this, James. We go 60 years in the future.
Mm-hmm. My eyes are closed. I'm
Nice.
envisioning. Give me
Your
the
eyes
picture.
are closed. Population has been aging. It's too expensive to have children. So instead, our governments are worried about aging populations and less childbirths. So instead, they make a system for collecting donations for egg donations from women, sperm donations from men. You make the pricing however much you want to make it. That's a discussion for a later issue. And the government just makes children based on genetic factors that make the most healthy children or something.
Okay, 2 articles I posted in stream chat. Scientists have created a mouse with 2 fathers, and scientists have created a mouse using 2 mothers.
2 mothers. Yeah.
Beauty.
Now just picture that with people.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, you said 60 years, that might be the policy timeline. Could be done tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be done sooner. Let's be real. I was thinking in 60 years it's normalized type of thing.
Have they done a human like in vitro no womb through the whole process before?
So I
don't think we've gotten that far
so,
yet.
But at the same time, that's one of those studies we wouldn't hear about.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
And might have been done, might not have been done because
Yeah.
of the human ethics.
Like it
surrounding it. Mouse
feels
ethics are much
arguable.
less
I don't know.
This just goes back to ethics. Everyone get rid of ethics. We need
No,
ethics in
we've been
science.
over this.
No, I'm on
Let's go
Eric's
back
side.
to the
Get rid of it.
60s.
Fuck it.
Let's go back to the 60s when you
Okay.
could douse a population
Okay,
with
listen, as long
LSD
as
and no one cared.
Okay, so is this episode going to be about Unit 731?
No. Ethics are only important in retrospect.
Are we talking about
Listen,
Unit 731?
Listen, all right. They did some very bad things. But
No,
Are-
that's it. Just bad things. They are bad things. But listen, we're making life.
But
they like
what?
that was like
Yeah,
torture
they made medical
for science.
discoveries and found information, but they put people on hot fans to dehydrate them and weighed them before and after and went,
That's
human
fucked up.
body 70 to
That's
80%
fucked up.
water.
Listen, that's
They
fucked
were
up.
alive the entire
Now,
time.
but
until
you
they
know
were
what
dehydrated
is-
and
yeah.
dead.
listen, all right.
You know what's
That
normal?
came
Just having kids.
that came from a sense of superiority. The Japanese didn't
That's
view
why we have ethics,
Chinese
Eric.
people as people, okay? They viewed them
Oh.
as monkeys. There's a difference, okay? We're more developed as a society. We see people of other races and
You want to
countries
know why we
as
know so
people.
much about like brain syphilis?
I can see where this is going.
I
can
think that
connect
this
the
is a
dots.
bit of a
Unit
side
731.
point to where we're
You want to
actually
know
going
why
with
we
this.
know so much about
This is a side
frostbite?
point.
Unit 731. They didn't like this wasn't used like war carcasses pulled from no man land. This was, oh hey, we have a bunch of Chinese people that we conquered their land. We took them back into Japan. We put them in the secret torture facility and we injected them with brain syphilis.
I feel like we're both on the side of this was awful, and now you're arguing for it all of a sudden. I'm getting mixed signals.
I'm not arguing for
Yeah, it's like here's one benefit, here's another benefit. Oh, we learned so much about
None of
this.
this
Oh,
is
isn't that
benefit.
lovely? I'm just
I'm saying
saying
they gave
that
people brain
I'm getting a little confused
syphilis
here.
for fun of it. I'm saying this is why we need ethics in our scientific experimentation and testing.
No, you just need a non-supremacist population. Like the Japanese believed they were the supreme beings.
Eric, you are actively arguing for a ethics committee
Anyways, back to the point.
while saying we don't need ethics.
Back to the point. Would it be ethical for
And-
us
yeah.
to try bringing humans to term? Is that the term? Is that the
Without
right
parents?
words? Yeah, without
Without
parents. Like, I don't know. I guess the question is just: does that child view life as a gift? If they do, then it's good. If they don't, then it's like, fuck. We
Well,
we blessed
this
them
is-
to be
this is-
born.
James, this
man.
is where the family part of that comes in. Because if you make a child without parents, how will that child view the world? Obviously,
great
to
question.
raise it, because we haven't changed the time it takes to raise a child to maturity. It's still the same, like 25 years.
May
technically,
I
18
pitch
for
you
society.
one of my favorite novels of all time. Exactly about this topic. That novel is A Brave New World. Now, if you've never have you guys ever read that book or know what it's about at
No.
all?
You've talked about it a few
Okay,
times.
well,
so it's
I've got a
good
treat for you then, Eric.
Oh, boy.
So the premise is
truth.
distant future, not that distant, a little bit distant. It's supposed to be a dystopia, but that's debatable. And instead of having actual children, everybody has been like rendered infertile in some mechanism, and so instead they do exactly well. They're a little bit more eugenicsy than I think I would like, but basically the government runs the population program, and they use genes to create people, and in order to make sure that people are getting better over time, but we don't lose people who need to labor and do all the tasks that are required to have a functional society. They use the genes to split people into 6 different tiers of humans, and then after birth, they use subliminal messaging to make them all extremely glad that they are that specific like caste of person and not one of the others. Like they'll whisper into the laborers' ears like, "Oh, those managers have so much like responsibility. I would hate to be born into their caste. I'm so happy to just be physical and do my day to day." And so that's how they like maintain the sort of population by having all these different castes. They're all responsible for different things. They're all genetically suited and psychologically suited to doing these things. And it's all run by the government.
How is their quality of life? Are they treated like humans?
Well, that is a point of contention, I think, because like what does that actually mean? They were all happy to be where they are, or they think they're supposed to be where they are, but at the same time, like, would we, today's humans, be happy if we were in the 6th and lowest caste? Absolutely not. They're like basically animals who do physical labor. They're just happy animals. But that is the debatable part.
That also brings up something I was wondering, which is would there be like would there be a class system, but would the people on top of the class system be people who have parents or people who don't have parents?
In this book, nobody had parents. Like everything was this system.
Yeah, but if we're just implementing this, so you will have people with no parents, you'll have people with parents. Who's superior?
I think the answer is nobody, because we don't rely on genes for superiority, right, Eric?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But people view. Okay, if we want to get like super cynical, having parents is a benefit because of the resources they have that you're coming into. For example, being born in a rich family versus being born in a poor family.
So that's not having parents. That's what your parents have and how it impacts.
Yes, but also you can also argue that being born into a rich but abusive family versus being born into a poor but loving family.
No, it's an interesting point because it kind of takes the randomness out of it. Like, would you say that a state-funded orphanage has a higher or lower quality of life compared to the median family? If we looked at like the scale of who was wealthy and who wasn't.
I don't know enough about this.
Right now, the answer would probably be orphanages probably suck more. I gotta be honest. That's an assumption. I don't know.
I would actually disagree.
Yeah, you think orphanages
are
like
the
above?
I think the state-funded orphanage. If let's say the government does this, it takes out child tax breaks or for families, and it takes all the money that they would have given to that into orphanages. I think the state-funded orphanages, on average, would have a higher median income level than.
Wait, are we arguing the theoretical or are we arguing the current?
I'd say current.
Then why are you talking theoretical?
Well, because the
it's a blend. It's a
state
blend.
orphanages don't exist yet.
I'm pretty sure that the foster care system does receive a lot of funding from the government.
Yeah,
but I guess it's a blend.
The foster care system isn't the state-funded orphanage.
So are you saying more like, okay, in the theoretical, if we were to set up a boarding school style orphanage?
Yeah, boarding school style orphanage.
Like where
the people there are not mothers.
Like for instance,
they're not mothers, they're not fathers. They're working a job. Their job is to be like a childcare, early development teacher. Like just think of like you have like a
okay. So this is going to turn into like a military complex. Like this is going to be
yeah, but
this is state-funded, brainwashed from birth military.
Well, I mean, if we're going for like a government-based birthing system, then yeah, absolutely.
40K,
yeah.
No, listen, we don't have a supreme. There's still
But
democracy.
This isn't the government creating soldiers at these orphanages. This is the government creating citizens. So it's not like these people are going into the military straight from 18. They're going out into the workforce at 18. They still
So,
do.
okay,
They still
this is
take
a
jobs,
theoretical.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, theoretically, they're not going into the military at 18. They're going into the military at 14. They're old enough to hold a gun.
Yeah, but the government doesn't need soldiers right now.
Huh?
More realistically, Nick, if I were the government setting up this plan, I would be making them stockbrokers. I'd be making them CEOs. So I'd get major companies on the state-funded side, and then just funnel all that money into the
I mean,
government.
unless all the children are resentful of their upbringing. But anyways, I feel like what we are
Depends
ignoring.
on the upbringing.
I
That's
think what
the
we're-
discussion.
I think we're ignoring the fact that like whatever this system is would have to be brought about democratically, and so I don't think that the government would just be able to use it however they want. Like people.
A lot of
James,
things
you
will
say
be-
that. Look at the
be brought
states
up
real quick and
democratically.
tell me that
Are we
it
looking at
wouldn't
the
be brought
States?
about.
Are we looking
I
at
think
Canada?
the important thing is if you're in the
Russia?
Western world,
China?
all of our institutions are brought about by like a not ideal but a democratic process.
No.
No,
It's
not
like-
in the states.
It
right
is
now.
the desire of people that brought us there, whether it's everybody or just a couple people. And so like
Venezuela.
There's 3 people right here. If we decided it, we could do it.
I guess where I'm going with this
What?
is if people are brought up through this system that's run by the government and then they leave and the government is still at least somewhat democratic, those people will have an influence on how it's run. And so it can't just be like a military boot camp that turns all children into child soldiers. That would be crazy. Unless they do the brainwashing and take over the whole like generation and then that becomes the voter base. But anyways.
Mhm.
I guess if we're talking about this for the benefit of society, we're saying like
Yeah.
if populations are shrinking enough due to natural childbirth, should the government take this over? Like there's serious ethical concerns, but the question is how do we overcome that? I think that's what we should be talking about.
Well, to be clear, all current issues that require that when stated with a should the government take over it, the answer is no, because the government does not function ethically and democratically enough to warrant societal change issues such as should we remove people from birth?
I mean, this could be a great opportunity for us to use the free market. Like, what if we made orphanages create the children, and then whichever children
is that-
do the
is that our
best,
next side hustle,
No, it's
James?
like-
Is
it's
that
like,
our next
wait,
side
whichever
hustle?
children graduate from these orphanages and are the most successful, those orphanages will have funding, and the ones that don't won't. It's like natural selection of the process.
So
Yes,
you're
it
saying we
requires
get
at
government
least
funding.
20 years to see results.
Yeah.
We get government funding.
Mhm.
We make an orphanage,
Mhm.
and then we make a shit ton of orphans through genetic selectivity and artificial wombs.
Yeah. Isn't that where we're going with
Have
this?
you ever seen
Isn't that where we're going with this? I thought that's the whole hypothetical.
Now, I need to, following in the next question, I need to preface something. None of us have siblings or have sisters, correct?
That is true.
That is true.
Okay. This is a really fucked question, but I'm curious if
I
What
don't want
the
to be.
you
heck?
know the answer.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
I want to
paranoid.
hear what you're saying. What's going on?
Okay. We all know incest is wrong.
Yeah.
He went where I thought he would go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The actual question is the negative implications from incest genetically, can they be fixed with CRISPR at current technological level?
I don't think you can CRISPR a living organism. I thought it has to be like before it's born. No. I don't really know much about CRISPR,
So,
but
to CRISPR a thing is to use a if like I'm going to describe it the way everybody describes it is it's copy and pasting or copying and deleting genetics. You get your genetic template, you make a little protein, acts as a pair of scissors,
Mhm.
and you can inject DNA into the cut section
Mhm.
and then run a protein over it, and it'll kind of rebind the DNA properly.
Yeah.
So to CRISPR a living organism is an interesting sentence as James,
I don't
you
think it'd
ever
go
have somebody
well, to be
stuck in a
honest.
washing machine.
Is that me?
Okay, they're wearing pants. And keep talking. So if you CRISPR'd them while they're alive,
I got
they fucking
distracted
die.
by your drawing of somebody in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So to answer my question, Nick, the genetic downsides to incest, could you solve them with CRISPR, or would it not work that way? I don't know. and
Genetic
I-
downsides of incest is an increased frequency in recessive traits.
and not all recessive traits are good, but
There's also a vast decrease in genetic diversity,
yep,
and you do not get the
you do not get diversity.
you don't
from
get like the
CRISPR.
backup set of
Yeah.
DNA that is different. So if you have a bad mutation, the recessive or dominant, whichever one, if you have incest baby, it's more likely to have the same copy
Yeah.
on the two strands. So in theory, if you were to take the genetics from
Mhm.
two related organisms,
Yep.
and remove the negative traits
Mhm.
and ensure that it will not have a non-backup or whatever, it only has the good traits, it only has what you selected for.
Yeah.
Yes. You
Where
can
I'm
also do that
going with
through selective breeding.
Yeah.
In the aquarium trade, oftentimes genetic pools are very small.
Yeah.
And fish breeders will remove defective fish. Some
Okay.
fish, when they go through multiple generations,
Mhm.
they will have crooked backs, short fins, off colors, and they'll only breed the fish that have the traits that they want. And you
Yeah.
can get true breeding fish lines because the genetic diversity has been reduced to such an extreme degree, they're all effectively clones despite the sexual reproduction. And
where
it's
I'm
only
going with this.
mutation that
Incest is a
Facts.
small barrier that we can overcome.
That's not where I was going with that.
That's what I just heard.
instead of
Where I
incest
was going
baby,
with
it'd
it.
be easier to just have like, this is the genetic template. This is the
Mm-hmm.
standard human. We're just gonna clone them. Oh, we need the laborer traits. Okay, they're going to be an 8-foot tall, muscle bound, high testosterone. They are going to have faster healing, heavier scarring, shorter lifespans.
Whoa,
They're
whoa,
probably
Would you want your laborers shorter
whoa.
lifespans?
Why you have to give them a shorter lifespan all this time?
No, I'm talking like laborer, like go shovel a pile of dirt. I'm not talking skilled trades.
Yeah,
I'm
why
not
they gotta die
talking
quickly?
Yeah.
anything
Would
like
you?
that.
Why would you want your laborers to have shorter lifespans?
So, do you want to pay retirement for your laborer bottom class? Do you want to
Well-
pay?
Whoa! Now Nick
Well,
beats old
if you look
people?
at it this way,
What
if you
the
look at
hell?
it this way, if you give them a shorter lifespan, their age range, but for work, their working age is shorter. So you
No,
have to actually
no,
give them
no,
retirement benefits sooner.
No, I think Nick's
Okay,
onto something.
so for humans, if you were to say like, okay, this person will die of cancer at 50.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you don't have to worry about when they retire at 65 and live to 80, 90. But they're still a 50-year-old human. That's still working age.
Yeah, but if they have cancer,
It's
they're
not
not
that they
working.
age twice as fast. It's that they die early. You don't have to say like, oh, this person lives a shorter life. They're going to age so they look 90 at age 30. No, they still look 30 at 30. And you can have them die early.
Now I'm going
But
to make.
they just have cancer instead. So instead of paying retirement, I have to pay them medical fee.
Well, that was just
No,
an
you don't.
example.
They
Like,
should
there's easier ways for them to die. But I think
The
ethically
cancer was an
speaking,
example. You can
Eth-
have genetic traits that like lead to early death.
like ethically, I think we can assume that this government that we are designing during this podcast will not be doing that. So let's just move on from it.
Like, by the way,
Well,
you
I
guys
just-
described it earlier. I'm just going off of 40K as my template government.
No, we're making.
I
the
just
template.
don't
Like,
think-
this
I
is
just
the
don't think you
Imperium
would-
of man. We have no ethics. We
No,
have
no,
no
just-
morality.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Everything
I
is
just don't see. I don't see the benefit to having your laborer die at 50 when you can work them to 65 and then have them die. Like
I
Just
think that's the
make
wrong
them
point.
healthy
That's
to
the
work
wrong
to
point
the
you're taking.
retirement age.
It was just an example of like, well, once you go past 50, your brain starts to deteriorate. You're not as functional. You're not as high profiting. You
But
start
these
to
are our laborers. We don't need them high functioning. We just need
Yeah,
them.
you do. You need them to have a strong back. That's the reason you're in the military at 18. You
So,
have cartilage.
I think
strong
it's
back,
important
strong
for us to
arm.
decide now. What is our goal
Load
from
the
this
100-pound
episode?
cannon
Where are we
shells
going
on
with
our-
this? Are we trying to design like the system we want to see? Are we trying to design the system that's most likely? Like, where are we going with this?
Well, I was just curious on the implications of designer children and also the ability to remove people from reproduction.
I see.
Because that does get us closer to the Matrix human battery.
I mean, I think it raises the question, like, how if we were to design these children and, create the system to birth them and foster them in the government, like, who does that? How do we decide? Is diversity an important
Well-
thing to maintain or not?
Now we get to Machiavellianism and the one perfect ruler.
Because hypothetically, if we value diversity and there is an important like culture to uphold, then the ideal way to manage this is just sperm, egg randomized from the recipients, and there's no system to decide whatsoever. And it's just whatever comes out, we work with.
So, how do you guys feel about Iceland?
Where are we going with this? Before
I
I
just
answer?
it's related, but like, I'll
I
get
think where he's going is that Icelandic people, there's not a lot of them, and they will probably breed together mostly alone with each other.
That's so funny. That's so.
there. Did you read the article I posted?
I just saw the headline.
That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah. So, how do you guys feel about Iceland?
Oh boy.
Oh, they
You know-
do have apps that will run your family tree, and if you're too closely related to another person, they're like, "Hey, that's your cousin. Don't hook up."
It's
And
a
they
really
do have like there
Yeah.
are inbreeding coefficients, and so long as you keep it low enough, it's all fine.
That's like a
And they have apps
fascinating
that
problem because
do
on the one
calculations.
hand, I feel like that invalidates a lot of people and is somewhat harmful to their like person, but then at the same time, functionally,
Dating app or the article I posted?
the article you posted,
Oh yeah. Are we? So is that the road we want to take this episode down?
I don't think so.
Well,
Okay.
let's to be
I'll
clear.
keep talking about the
Let's
dating
to be,
app.
let's
because
be
that's,
clear. With
easier to
science, we don't have to be this barbaric.
And barbaric.
Hey, but we can.
Spartan.
Like
Ooh, I
mean,
like that.
I mean,
That's a good way to put it.
No, just tell me, like, what does that mean? Like, what acts are
so
we
the
getting rid
Spartans
of?
would effectively like take a newborn baby and be like, "Elders, is this baby going to be a good warrior?" And the elders would look at the baby and be like, "It gripped my finger strong. It can hold a spear. Keep it." This one, nah, this one's messed up. Throw it off the cliff. Start again. Try again.
Yeah, I guess the problem is like, what is our goal with this system? Because if it's just like energy and value gained, then I think that unfortunately eugenics is going to be the path forwards. And if it's not that, if it's like to maintain a more abstract diversity or culture-based value system, then it's like we should probably maintain what we currently have to some degree.
Well, does our current system need parents in birth?
Okay. Yes, we do not have the industrial complex
Well,
to produce 1 million babies a year.
well, yes, no, we don't. But we could set up a system for this. But besides that, would you rather be born into an abusive household or be born into the state-run orphanage?
Which edition of state-run orphanage am I getting?
You're getting the one where you don't have parents, but you're not abused daily. It's like
Oh,
how
like
I would
good quality of life, like average.
I
standard
would
quality.
run how I would run the state orphanage is there'd be a rotating it'd be
Is that a
probably
belt?
around I would make it a household of about 20 with 10 staff. So it'd be like 10 like primary like educators. So it'd be like two children per one staff/teacher. You'd have your side staff like janitors, you'd have cooks, you'd have those things. And then you'd have 10 primary educators and 20 children.
I feel like the root of the problem is we can make a system that has parental figures that are state run, and like they'd have to be somewhere that's like pseudo teacher, pseudo like ethics teacher. You know what a
Well,
parent is.
I
But
would
the
I
question
would
is like, who decides if those parents are good parents, and who like how
well
does
State.
that's where
I think
this
that's the
is where
problem.
my idea comes in.
Mhm.
They're not parents. I would set this up first and foremost.
They'd
You're
be
not
like mentors.
parents. You're teachers. You're teachers
So you're saying like eliminate the parent role altogether in this system?
altogether.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Because what would you rather? Would you rather be in an orphanage with teachers that take care of you, but they're not your mom, they're not your dad? Or do you want to be born in a household where you have a mom and dad, but your dad's an alcoholic and your mom's a prostitute who's high on crack?
I didn't realize
Like-
we hated on sex workers.
like,
Wow.
how much do we value having parents in
That's a
the
great
role
question.
of early education if the parents have negative traits? Like if my parent is abusive, how much is that valued towards I don't
Right.
have a dad, but I have a teacher who takes care of me, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, thinking about what the function of a parent is, like they're a role model, which gives you a visual of what the ethics that you want to develop are. Maybe sometimes if they're
Mhm.
good parents, they're
Yeah.
a source of value, so they give you food and shelter and blah blah blah. And then emotionally, what do they provide? I think that it's like the notion of having somebody who's looking out for you in any
Mhm.
stage of your life. So if like all of those things can be replicated, I think that a
Well,
system with no parents would be great. It'd
a
be
very
fine.
common factor is people like children born into abusive relationships, or not relationships, households generally become bullies. Like that is a known fact. And usually a teacher or a primary role model outside of the familial situation can help temper that somewhat. So if we just remove the abusive side altogether and just have the role model,
Right. Yes, I agree. And you know the best way to do that is with propaganda. We will make them a role model that is so heroic, so legendary, they will aspire to be like somebody who doesn't exist.
but here's the thing. You can't guarantee that by like in our current foster system, we have current parents taking on more children for monetary value. In this state-run orphanage, there's no parent taking on a child. There's a teacher doing a job for their monetary value.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer. I'll read that article later. So it's no longer. Parents have like emotional implications attached to the word. This removes that entirely.
That's true. Yes.
And
So-
besides, having worked in the hospitality industry, you can pay someone to appear happy.
Okay.
Damn. Money really does buy happiness.
I mean,
Having worked in the hospitality all my life, I get paid to put on the corporate smile.
like real talk, I feel like if this system existed, I would think that the people who take care of the children, it should be like a voluntary position. Because the best parent is
No,
the one who like wants
that-
to be one.
No, that's incorrect.
That's-
That leans too closely to wanting to be a parent. You can't have that.
That's exactly my point. Like so many parents don't want to be parents, and that's what leads them astray, or they don't want to be parents anymore.
No, the issue with hiring people who are like they get paid but they're volunteers, they get too emotionally attached to the children.
That is not a bad thing.
That is the
I
issue.
think.
That is the issue.
What's wrong with that?
If you're too emotionally attached to the child, the value of the education you teach becomes too implicated, and you might as well just get a foster system at that point.
You're gonna have to explore this discussion with me a
You-
little bit more. Like, why do you think that?
So children are a sponge, and when they're early, they're not emotionally intelligent. A child will not be able to tell if you're faking or not, given the amount of love and reception. Obviously, it hasn't been tested. Honestly, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know any early child education. However, if you pay someone to fake warmth and they're good enough at their job to do so, hospitality, I can smile at you for 8 hours a day, and it's not a real smile, but you probably couldn't tell. A child will not be able to tell. They do not have the emotional intelligence to tell. And by the point where they could tell, they're probably so ingrained to this, they wouldn't know a difference.
I
And
think
I think the what they receive from that fake like happiness and love is equivalent enough to what they receive from real love in this government-run orphanage that it would not change the outcome.
But then you could also have the same thing, but somebody who actually wants it, it's not faking the smile. Like, why would you want it to be fake?
Because people do not have enough emotional depth to care for enough children in their education role. Like with this as a job,
Gotcha. So it's like
You-
it's the
like-
ratio problem. It's like there's not enough
It's the
people who
ratio.
want it. But then at
there's
the
not
same
enough people
time,
who want it, and people don't have enough emotional depth for it.
I think it's really important to consider that this society is like very different from ours to begin with. Like the number of people who are emotionally mature, if the system works, should be higher. Like the people who want this position should be higher if the system works than what we have
Yeah.
right now, at least.
True.
And so if it's just a numbers problem, to me, having people who want it would be good. Having people who see the value in it but might not enjoy it is slightly less good. And then people who are just paid to do it, like that would mean that they're going to put in the least amount of effort to make the money, which is following just the guidelines. And if the guidelines are policed that well, then I feel like that's a bad spiral to go into.
Think my search history
Yes.
is getting flagged because I just had to, like, I'm not a robot, select the fire hydrants.
That's funny. The way I argue with this is, first of all, you would not be having like people like the age for hiring this. You would do the age ranges would be scaling upwards with the amount of volunteer effort. Like a young person, like if I hired someone who's 18 to do this, it'd because they volunteered. Like this is what they believe in. And as you get older, you would have obviously you'd have people whose volunteer range and like belief stay the same, but as you scale up, the belief would go down in terms of volunteering.
Gotcha.
Just because the experience and let's be real, let's be honest. Society drains the life out of you, and it drains the empathy out of you. Can we all agree to that?
No.
You do not believe society drains the empathy out of you.
No, I don't.
You have not
California
worked enough
burnt down so many
hospitality.
times, I became desensitized to hearing that California is burning down.
I feel like not only is that a symptom of today's society and not the future state society, but also no.
James, you have not worked hospitality.
That is true.
I'll specify. Hospitality drains the empathy out of you.
I feel like that's a separate discussion. It's like in this future society, should we just get rid of hospitality?
Well, no,
You
because
should get rid of bartenders.
to be clear, I don't think you could get rid of hospitality unless you replaced every serving job with a robot, and we are not there yet.
Or
We
go
could
to
do that.
restaurants. Teach every child how to cook for themselves.
Just like we can reproduce without sex, which is great for James. He might have children. one
What
day.
the
You
hell?
can
That was okay.
actively.
Okay, side topic. That was also a discussion. Would you allow single people to request a child made for them?
I think you can do that right now.
So actually,
Well,
I think
right now you
let's
can adopt a child, but
let's-
this is more implicated. Like,
let's blend
could you
these
like
two
with
topics.
gene editing and not needing a surrogate mother, you can do a surrogate womb.
So
Could you have a single father go out and request a child made with DNA specifics,
I think
and
that
vice versa? Would you
we
have a
need to
single mother?
discuss like how does parenting work in this society? So we've talked about like a foster system, but what if it's a mandatory system where like every person has to take a child under their wing for a certain number of years?
Unwell. You have the same
Like-
issue. You have
like
unwilling
mandatorily.
parents.
But yeah, but
Yeah. Okay.
like
I
you
have
to-
this child stuck on me because the government demanded it. I do not want this. I do not like this.
But
I'm
think
gonna
about-
abuse the heck out of this child for 20 years.
Think about the burdens of a child. They mostly come from living in the same space, being forced to feed them, being forced to, be fully responsible. If you took a lot of that burden off, I feel like people would enjoy parenthood a lot. Like it's
So
just it's just a person to mentor.
Are you giving this child that when they're born, or are you giving this child when they're like 3 years old? Like
I
what
think
what are we
it would-
doing with this?
I think it'd have to vary. It's like when the child is like 0 to 5, there's probably caretakers because they have to have somebody full time. When they're 5 to 10, like they're a child, they can go back home at the end of the day. but they can also learn from a person, like a mentor or a coach or a pseudo parent. When they're, getting older and older, like you can just meet people but not live with them.
Yeah.
So at
You
what
want,
point do you
like-
want this single parent? Like at this point, you've just confirmed my orphanage idea.
I guess my
Yeah, this
point
is just
is,
the orphanage instead of the like factory grown state mandated children.
if there is factory grown state mandated children, then there would be no like single person adoption policy. It would be like a single person coaching and mentoring policy. In which case, I feel like the risk is a lot lower.
Well, my issue was, what would you do if a child predator requests a single, like a customized child for them?
Yeah, I feel like this system
What
would
you do
not
to the normal
operate on
child
that.
predator execution.
I don't. Yeah, I don't
Sorry,
think
what
it's a
did you
good idea.
say? I couldn't hear you because of James.
If they're a child predator, execution.
Okay, you cannot we don't have a way of confirming a child predator until they perform a version of the act, whether that's CP or actually grooming a child or negatively impacting a child. They have not displayed any signs, but they themselves know.
Yeah, it's just how do we set up the
Well,
system
then
to
they're not a
mitigate
child
the risk?
predator yet.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, I think that system is flawed for that reason.
well, yeah.
Like we
But
couldn't
at the
do
same
it.
time, that's
At the same
currently
time, you can
happening. Like,
also-
people can
you can
become
do
a
it.
parent and be that. Like
Yes.
it can still happen right now.
We're living in
And
utopia
it's not
land,
like
Dick.
you can have thought crime preventative measures. Like you can't
All
just
right.
be like, I think
Here-
this person will do this crime. Let's execute them today.
Okay, here's where we got to bring eugenics into this.
Is
We need to get 1,000 child predators, and we need to go through their brain chemistry and their DNA and find out what part
We're removing
isolates
child predators.
child. Exactly, like what part of their body
I support
makes
this.
them attracted to children.
I support this as
And
well.
then if we find that, we can remove it, and then we've solved the
Hey,
child
government,
predator
fund
system.
this. I want to do this.
I mean, if it's genetic, then yeah, I guess this is a bit of a moot point. We would have eliminated it.
Well,
if
well,
we're
we,
in the
we
steady
have to
state.
find we have to find the reason why, because I don't believe that it is. I'm gonna do a loose term for this, but I don't believe it's taught. I feel like it's nature.
It's nature, not nurture.
So you think
Yeah.
it is genetic?
I think it's genetic. I don't believe that it's like a learned behavior.
So do you think we could have like a completely docile human?
Yes, easy.
Domesticated humans.
Well,
We've already done it before.
Yeah, domesticated.
well,
humans,
actually, let me change that. What do you mean by docile?
Yeah, I think James said domesticated humans kind of summarizes it.
Do you mean like not sexually attracted?
Like
to
what we
anything?
did to wolves to make them into dogs is what we would do to
Yeah,
people to
like
make
can
them into
we
people.
pugify
boys.
or like golden retrieverify humanity?
Well,
Like
this is gonna sound wrong, but I would argue that like some genetic disorders are pugifying a human.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay,
it's
you know
actually
what?
genius.
can we golden retriever personality humans?
No, no,
move
no.
on from the
Let's-
pugify
let's-
genetic anomaly.
let's
Let's not
pugify
touch
them.
that
Let's
with a 10-foot
pugify them,
stick.
and we'll become like an air apparatus breathing system company. They'll all be reliant on. Anyways.
Wait, were you saying pugify as in like asthma, or are you saying
Yeah.
pugify as in like something potentially insane?
Like give people like the same thing that pugs have, breathing problems, and then we'll become the corporation that fixes
Ooh,
that
I do
problem.
not. I honestly, this is gonna be really bad. Hold on.
See, I'm scared for Eric because I kind of understand how his brain works. Like James, I'll pick up on your thought waves every once in a while. Because of the conversation, the way it's been going, I'm scared of what Eric's going to say next.
Oh boy. It's not gonna be a. It's not gonna be a. It's not gonna be a words.
It's not going to be a word.
Okay, now Nick, compare the article you posted picture to what I posted.
I'm sorry. Did you? No. Did you? Hey, wait.
Oh boy.
Please tell me this is on the fatherless behavior PubMed article, not
no.
the previous one.
No. No.
How do I quote this? How do I put this in quotes, chat? How do
You guys have lost me a
That-
little bit here. What's going on now?
So
Hold on. Can I copy this image?
please don't Photoshop this. This is gonna be bad.
Here you go, James. Does that help?
No. End of the episode.
What the fuck?
End the
This
episode.
cannot be
This is what
shown.
I-
This cannot be
he
shown.
said he said the article before the other one. He said the second last article I posted. This is why. Like, I didn't know where Eric was going. I just knew it was gonna be bad by the way he was reacting and acting.
Oh
This
god.
is. Do not draw anything right now, James.
I'll draw whatever the fuck
James!
I want.
James! James!
Nick, I blame you for this.
What do you mean?
You mentioned pugs.
I also mentioned golden retrievers.
Yeah, but
It's
James
that
said
golden
pugify and I
retriever
couldn't unsee it.
personality.
James said pugify, I
Nobody gets
couldn't
attacked by a
unsee it.
pug. That's what I was talking about. It was the docile, domesticated thing of like, hey, nobody's ever been attacked by a pug. Pugs are harmless. They can't do anything. The golden retrievers, you just don't hear about people getting attacked by them. They're harmless. They have golden retriever personality. That's what I was talking about. Can we take people and just put golden retriever personality into them to have a like docile, easily manipulated group of people? Yeah, dangle a treat in front of them. They're happy.
My image still stands.
I don't want it to.
Oh god.
Anyway.
Okay, James, you gotta add 2 signs to my image.
Yeah. Okay, wait a second. Why is it on an angle? Wait, I don't remember this. What the heck?
I almost said a very negative comment that would have linked what Eric had done to, like, why'd you squish it?
Okay, anyways. uh, anyways. I think what we were talking. What the fuck were we just talking about?
Wait, no, I need like a buffer new topic.
I feel like I do too. I'm actually lost. I don't know where we were going with that anymore. How do I? What is a stupid Magma program, man? How do you use this shit?
Oh god, I haven't laughed that long in a while. That is not an
Don't-
unrelated image. You
Don't look in stream
That
chat.
is not unrelated.
James drew a pug in Magma. He squished it and it turned into ET. So I posted an image of ET in our group chat. James's squished pug looks like ET. James, squish that pug again.
I'm not gonna fucking squish the pug again. What the fuck?
It looks like ET. ET wants to go home. Squish the pug.
Okay. This is our unrelated image. A nice calming forest.
Eric, you cannot post that.
A nice calming forest. That is our unrelated image.
You wouldn't hate that face,
Oh.
would you?
I would have hit that.
gone.
Use, I
Face
would
is
hit that.
gone.
Use
Bro, this
frying
is an
pan.
ugly ass
Face is
dog.
gone.
Who the fuck drew this, man? That's fucked up.
How did you make a pug uglier?
Well, that'll fix it. The nose.
Oh,
the nose
okay.
is the problem. I think.
Oh god. Nick, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Where's the gif of like the dog drinking lake water and going?
Oh, Jesus.
Also,
Oh,
Nick,
God.
thank God it's just you and I watching this episode.
Oh my, James, you might actually have to delete this.
I'm not gonna delete it. Bro, I can't delete our fucking eugenics episode. I can't delete the episode I brought up A Brave New World. It's legit one of the greatest novels I've ever read.
You've done it all 3 episodes.
It's true. It's
You
true.
have brought it up every episode.
Okay.
You brought up A Brave New World, and in response, I brought up Warhammer all 3 episodes.
As our transition, let's discuss A Brave New World. So what happens in the novel is they, for cultural reasons, have left a Native American reserve alone. The rest of the world is governed by one governing body, except for this one little native colony who is allowed to live on its own. And one of the main characters is this dude who grew up, and the only piece of literature he'd ever read was a compilation of Shakespeare's novels, and that's like all he knows. And so he's looking for this idealist Romeo and Juliet. He gets adopted, or rather inducted, into the rest of society, and they're all like hyper sexed up. They go to like porn movies all the time because there's no risk having kids, so they
I'll
just
be
fuck
back
all
in
the
a
time.
minute.
And so he,
Ooh.
having read Shakespeare, is like super conservative, and he like has this huge cognitive dissonance where he's like falling in love with this girl from society, but she's like super, sexual and into these feely movies they go to and like all that. And it ends with him killing himself because he like doesn't understand how to process his sexual feelings.
Sorry, he kills himself because he can't process his
Yeah.
horniness.
It's like he falls in love with this girl. She's super horny because she's fucking people all the time because that's like the societal norm. He ends up fucking her in like a bout of sexual release, and then he's like so ashamed he just fucking kills himself. That's how the book ends.
Bait.
And, okay, whoa, okay. Sure, we'll process that later. But I guess where I'm going with this is like if we do have this world where there are no kids that are brought about by natural birth, and like it's a government program
Yeah.
or whatever, like what does that do to sexuality as a culture? Right now, I feel like sexuality it's a lot more open, but it's not that open.
That I agree.
It's like I almost feel like the act
Well-
would be diluted quite a bit.
you would need 100% effective birth control for both genders.
Right. In this novel, they had it. In our real world, they might not have it.
In our world, we don't yet, but
Yeah.
let's be real. I would say, and if the stigma on male birth control is reduced a little bit, I think in the next 30 years we can have 100% effective birth control in both genders.
That makes sense as a prerequisite. And so I wonder,
I
like,
would say
you-
I would say we could do it.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
I'm back.
What
Okay,
confuses me
now
a
that
little
Nick's
bit.
here. Hold
Yeah.
on, James. How familiar are you with Eldar lore from Warhammer 40K?
Not at all.
Okay, so
Which aspect of it, Eric?
you know exactly where I'm going with this.
The sexy
It's
times.
the-
aspect?
yeah.
I just got back. I just sat down. I heard
Okay.
Eldar lore.
So James, give the Brave New World discussion again.
Like the whole synopsis.
Just the quick reason why the man kills himself at the end.
So there's a character who grew up on like this small reserve where they weren't a part of this world society, and so they were like normal people kind of. And he grew up reading Shakespeare, so he was like kind of raised on traditional values. And then the rest of the world is like hypersex because there's no kids. And so when he joins the rest of society and sees it for the first time, he falls in love with this girl, but like she's all into like orgies and shit. And so he ends up participating in one in like a sexual release bout at the end of the novel, and he's so ashamed by the end that he kills himself. That's it. That's
Is
how
a
the book
Brave
ends.
New World like a conservative wet dream type?
No,
Is
not at
it
all.
trying to
It is not a conservative wet dream.
I
but
really
would
think it's just a
you could
speculation.
argue it's conservative. I would say you could argue it's conservative propaganda against hyperbolized
What?
liberal.
I would not
agendas.
argue that at
Okay,
all.
okay. Well, like,
I don't
no,
read the book, so I have no idea.
No, the dude kills
But-
himself because he is our current society, or like even older than our current society. But it's not saying that that's a
No,
bad
he's
thing.
exposed
Like,
to something and he kills himself because
like
of it.
this government
the
was
worst
like
thing
a
to me.
weird eugenic society, but at the same time, it was a stable, functioning, maybe even highly functioning society. Like, I don't think it was making any arguments about what was right or wrong. It was just a speculation.
Okay, so where I go with the Eldar thing, James, is in Eldar lore, they were the dominant, like, spacefaring society to the point where they had every conceivable need met in abundance. Food, enough food to go around for everyone to be, like, obese. Didn't matter. They had all the food they needed. They had all the technological abilities that they wanted. No one died of anything like ever. Like everyone was like, it was the perfect society. So what do you have when you have all your needs met? You go to entertainment, and your entertainment starts degenerating. So everyone went to like art shows, everyone went to like plays, and when the
They
plays
moved
were
to
not
extreme excess.
extreme excess. So it's like, oh, what happens if you like did a little like stabbing, like blood play in your like plays? Oh, what if you stab someone in your plays? What if you murdered someone in your plays? What if you murdered someone and committed like cannibalism in your plays? What if you had like sex while doing all of that? Like it like all their and like everything they had were met, so everything was about like excess emotional
They
things,
also
and that
had the
caused like
ability to like,
degeneration.
resurrect people.
Yeah, and you could like resurrect people.
You were back alive after you got like murder cannibalized fuck during the play.
Yeah. Where I'm going with this is, do you, Nick and James, do you think human society could get to that point, or would we end it before we got there?
I don't think
Yes.
we're gonna have a respawn mechanic.
Well, my argument is like, could we get as technologically advanced as that, or would we obliterate ourselves first?
We could probably get that technologically advanced in like if everything goes right type of way.
Yeah. What's your
Listening to
timeline? Do you think we could do it in like 500 years, or would it have to be like at least like 10K?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's already happening if you really think about what
Yeah.
values represent. It's like our whole society's been based around survival, and so all of our values were based around that. And the more that becomes not necessary to consider, the less I think that those values will be maintained / function the way that they used to. So I could definitely see it.
I don't think we're gonna reach the levels of like excess that will spawn a chaos god. I do think we will reach levels of extreme excess in certain areas. Like we already have.
Yeah.
You can 100% go to like a royal or an elite party, and you will have levels of excess that'll just like floor the average Joe. But to them, that's the good stuff. You want to be doing cocaine, you want to be doing ecstasy, you want to be doing all these wild things. End up in a private care hospital at the end of the night and thinking this is good. Just like a normal person would have like a hangover the next day.
And that's kind of vanilla though.
I guess the key thing is that this Eldar society has things that rich people don't right now. Like they're still bound to lifespan, they're still bound to health, they're still bound to the same desires.
Yeah.
And so if we remove that, I feel like people could go wild.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, so to summarize the story, that's like that happened in 25,000.
Yeah, year 25,000. It took like what, another 5,000 years for that to implode into the birth of Slaanesh.
Okay, hold
yeah.
on. Are you telling me that the Eldar were born at the same time as people?
No.
So, like
No,
the 40K
Eldar were
is next
born
year?
Okay.
60 million years ago.
They hit their peak year 2500.
Oh, I see.
25,000 or 2,500?
25,000, sorry. That was their peak.
25,000.
Gotcha.
25K.
Okay.
They then entered into that's the height of their extreme excess. From that until like year 30K-ish. That 5,000 year span spawned Slaanesh. Slaanesh, fourth chaos god, prince of pleasure, goddess of excess. That's Slaanesh. They then had, I think, like 99.9%
of their population
consumed by Slaanesh.
Good God. Yep.
The survivors are now edgy boys in the webway. You got clowns, and you got feudal Japanese caste system on continent-sized ships.
Yeah,
floating in space.
You know what? Let's do this now. James, a brief summary of Warhammer 40K. You have at the beginning of
Let's
the
do
universe,
this now, as if it was inevitable.
Okay.
It was
We're
inevitable.
doing Warhammer 40k. In the year 0, you
In the
got
year
the
0.
old ones.
Yep.
They're happy. They're just chilling.
Mhm.
We don't know what they are. They're just happy. They exist all throughout the galaxy. They're like seeding life around the galaxy. Insane, impossible technology.
Yeah.
They're using magic. It's all
Yep.
great. You got the Necron tier. The Necron tier, they live around a radiation planet. They are riddled with cancer. Miserable life. They look at the old ones and think, they're immortal, living an amazing life. Can we have some of that? The old
So
ones
they
say
ask.
no.
Yeah. They're like,
The Necron
please,
tier
old
turn
ones,
to the
please.
Catan. The Catan are star-eating gods, but they currently exist in a form that is reminiscent of a gas cloud.
Yeah.
The Necron tier build them bodies. They make the Catan into semi-sentient, godlike entities. That allows them to strike back at the old ones for denying them immortality.
Mhm.
War breaks out. The old ones think, I'll just create life to fight this war for me because I don't want to fight it.
Mhm.
We're dying. We're running out. The Catan are eating our souls, eating us, just like they eat the stars.
Mhm.
The Necron tier are thinking, the old ones still aren't giving us anything. One of the Catan, who's known as the Deceiver, says, I can grant you immortality, solve your cancerous woes. Necron tier go, that's great, and agree with the Deceiver. The name doesn't mean anything.
So having seen a video specifically only about the Necrons, I know that this is going to be a 60-minute fucking discussion.
I'm not done yet.
Where are we going with this? Is my question.
So anyways, the Necron tier walk into the biotransference furnaces, and the Deceiver eats their souls.
Mhm.
But grants his end of the bargain of they are no longer cancer-ridden. They're now the Necron. The Necron
Terminators.
are effectively Terminators, space Terminators. They are soulless machine constructs that are more or less exact copies, but in metal. They are made of a living metal that, what's it called? It's like necrodermis.
It's necrodermis. Necrodermis.
Yeah. The low caste, mindless serfs, they just follow orders. The royals, they have like 90% of their brain. The kings,
Emperor,
the ruling
emperor,
class,
the emperors.
the
Mhm.
emperors, the pharaohs, because they're Egyptian Terminators.
Don't worry about it.
It's somewhat important. They have like cool scarabs. And they have tomb worlds instead of whatever else everybody else has.
Yeah.
They are absolutely idealistically perfect. Like they do not degrade not through the biotransference. They only gain. Everything's great for them. But none of them have a soul. So anyways,
Souls
the
are
Catan-
tangible.
The Catan, they're currently in charge of them. The Necron also have amazing technology, probably from the old one war, they stole it, yada yada.
Yada yada.
Now the Catan have this army of Terminator robots. Meanwhile, the old ones have been creating the Krorks, which are old one variants of the Orcs, who are a fungus that is 10 feet tall, hyper intelligent, super strong, and have a combined hive, not a
Mind.
hive mind, but a hive mind-esque psychic presence.
We're not going through the
It's-
whole lore,
it's
are
a-
we?
I'm not done yet.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but just how far are we going? Because this is long.
We're going to Slaanesh. We'll stop at Slaanesh.
Oh, okay.
I have a ways to go. So,
Yeah.
I already
Krork
know.
and the Eldar are created by the old ones. The Krork end up getting beaten up by the Necron tier. The Eldar win against the Necron tier. Krork and Eldar are allies. Krork devolve into orcs over time.
Mhm.
Now they are English football hooligans. The Eldar end up being the dominant faction. The Necron, during the war, managed to rebel against the
Catan.
Catan,
And they enslaved them. Yeah.
as they had grown very gluttonous and fat and sleepy and tired after eating all of the old ones.
Yeah, they did kill all the old ones, to be clear.
Yeah, the old ones are gone. to our knowledge. No survivors. So the Necron end up rebelling against the Catan. They end up breaking the Catan into shards and using them as the fuel source for all their technology and their war efforts. But in the war against the Krork and Eldar, they get weakened. They end up going to sleep for a short little nap of 60 million years.
Yes.
This leaves just the Krork and the Eldar, but the Krork got heavily destroyed, heavily defeated during the War in Heaven, as it was called.
Mhm.
They are reduced to the Orcs. The Eldar were not degraded to the same extent, so they become the dominant force in the galaxy, all other barriers removed.
Mhm.
Now, nothing really happens. Fast forward roughly 60 million years, approximately, to year 0 Holocene. Year 0 Holocene is the end of the glaciation period. You got humanity forming like big tribes, agriculture, a bunch of shamans who are human psychers, year 0-ish, get together and commit mass ritual suicide because some of them got massive visions of the future and they didn't like it. Probably seeing chaos gods. This creates the Emperor. This is one main theory. It's not guaranteed. It's not actually stated anywhere where the Emperor comes from. He's a big mystery. This is just a explanation for his creation. Of every human psyker committing mass suicide, fusing their souls, Emperor is born.
Using their souls.
Yeah.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, via mass suicide ritual. So now we're in year 0 of humanity. This is still pretty much just like start of agriculture. Now we fast forward to the year 25K. Modern day is like year 12K in this scenario.
12K,
Like
really?
real world modern day.
We're a lot further
No,
along than I thought.
No, we're
Wow.
not 12K. We're actual 20. We're like the 21st century.
No, they use Holocene. They don't use Jesus.
Oh, they don't use. Okay, never mind.
Sorry, Holocene being like the spawn of Homo erectus.
Yeah, modern day Homo erectus.
Gotcha.
The Holocene period is the end of the last glaciation period. So like the
Okay.
start of agriculture, human activities.
Gotcha.
That nothing really happens until like year 25. That is where the era of strife,
Yes.
age of strife.
Age of Strife.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about with the Eldar. This is the birth of Slaanesh. Like Slaanesh starts getting created. The Eldar are at their height of excess. They're at the height of excess. James, you asked for this.
I did not ask for this.
You caused this. Your actions caused this.
I don't know about asking for it, but he definitely caused this.
I will
did
take
not
a
fucking
screenshot and
cause
put it in the video of what Eric posted to get me onto this topic to derail the conversation. So, I am not. I would be a heretic. Okay, I agree. Age of Strife. Humanity had been in their golden age of technology and been continuously improving. They had entered a era of such insane technological advancement that they were starting to take over the galaxy, even though there were orcs and the Eldar and other factions and other species all throughout the galaxy. They were conquering worlds, they were expanding, they had effectively expanded throughout all of the Milky Way. Often referred to as like more than 1 million worlds are within the Empire of Man. They did so using warp travel, which is kind of like building a Minecraft portal and traveling through the nether to get around faster.
You mean it
Very
takes them
much
to the
akin.
void?
It sends them to the warp or the immaterium, as they call it. It's hell.
Ah.
They travel through hell to get to places faster.
Is it hell-
As my
Why?
my favorite YouTuber would say, hell is real and you can surf on it.
Why
Yes.
is it hell?
Because that's where like souls go, and at this point there were chaos gods,
Oh, okay.
and the Eldar were still around and at their height of like, because this is still like ages 20k to 25k was like human age
Something like
expansion.
that.
Something like that. The numbers are rough. They don't give.
Like, what's the difference between the warp and the void?
The void is typically like empty space. The
Mhm.
warp
Oh, okay.
is like the immaterium. It's hell. It is everywhere unless certain criteria are met. And even then, it's still technically there. It's just calm. So humanity's expanding through it all. Humanity has made advances into, there are warp drives on ships that sends the ship into hell, and then it can surf through hell.
Mm-hmm.
They have navigators, which are like weird three-eyed psychic anomaly humans that live hundreds of years, are incredibly strong. If they open their third eye at you, they blast you with hell, and then you die. They're the ones guiding the ships through everything. But it's mostly calm and stable. There are warp gods, they're just not very powerful, they're not Terminus. Humanity is expanding, creating new worlds, height of technology, everything you need. They have STCs, which are like the survival pocketbook guide to how to set up a world. Like everything you need is in that book. It's the Boy Scouts everything you need playbook. And it can create STC templates.
How does this get to
Which are-
Slaanesh?
I'm getting there. I'm not done yet. And those are like the blueprints for whatever the machine tells you what to do.
Uh-huh.
STC have two things: standard template construct and the template that the standard template construct, you like blueprint template, and the machine AI. So the warp is getting really funky. And all of a sudden, all of the AI, the men of iron as humanity calls it, start to rebel. Enter in the Age of Darkness, humanity's dark ages. The height of the Eldar excess have like spawned Slaanesh. The Eldar are getting eaten left, right, and center. Slaanesh is appearing. Warp storms are ripping the galaxy apart. Warp storms are like hell breaking into the real world. All of a sudden, the warp is incredibly volatile and angry. Humanity can no longer like move through the void space to other planets. They're disconnected. They can't communicate. All of their warp-based technology is going haywire. All of their robotic, like artificial intelligence serfs, computers, everything is rebelling against them. Humanity has been reduced from a Milky Way million planet empire to individual worlds. This lasts for about 5,000 years.
Not that long.
This is when Slaanesh appears in the picture, and there are now 4 Chaos Gods. During this, Chaos exudes a lot of influence, and humanity starts
Wait,
to get
You
corrupted.
tell me
by
there
it.
is less than 4 Chaos Gods before? Like the rest of them already existed?
No, Slaanesh always existed. This is just when Slaanesh popped into reality. Like this is when
Ah.
Slaanesh was born, created.
And you're
But it
telling
was
so
retroactive.
they were all there before.
All 4 have always existed, but Slaanesh was born
I see.
roughly year 30k.
Basically,
Final birth.
Slaanesh gets powerful enough to be relevant at
Yeah.
this point.
Slaanesh's final birth calmed all the warp storms, like the final manifestation and creation of the actual Chaos God. Up until there, it was just like ramping up and being created.
I see.
So 30k is when Warhammer 40k is. That is known as the Horus Heresy. That is when the
Whoa. We don't
Emperor-
talk about that.
you only care 40k?
We don't talk
We care
about the
we care
Horus
pre
Heresy.
30k. Pre 30k.
Only pre 30k.
Pre 30k.
Okay, so no Emperor, no Malkador, no Primarchs, no.
None of that. That's a different
Okay.
episode. That's a different
Okay,
episode.
so
This is Slaanesh. It ends after Slaanesh.
Okay.
Jeez.
So before Slaanesh, the Eldar were super powerful. Slaanesh is created. Now we have various Eldar castes and pockets. The Empire has been shattered. Every planet's doing their own thing, disconnected from one another. during this, because of the AI revolt, humanity is completely sundered, and their technology and understanding of technology is reduced down to like faith and belief. This is why there is a cult of Martians who worship machines as if they were gods.
Different episode. We'll get into it in a different
No, this is part of the Dark Ages. This isn't 30K. This is
Yeah,
still like
but this isn't
set up for
Eldar
30K.
and Slanesh. This isn't Eldar
okay,
and Slanesh.
specifically Eldar and Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Well, the Eldar suck. So okay,
Yeah, they do, but we need to
when
talk about
Slaanesh
how
was
they
born,
fall. We need to
you
talk about
could
their
have
fall.
yeah. So the clowns are the worst. They worship the laughing god, Kamara. No, that's the Dark Elf city. Oh no, the clowns they just hop around, they pull pranks, they worship the laughing god. They're horrible. The Dark Elves, they live in Kamara. They escaped into the Webway, and all of their ships, all of their like getaway vehicles, everything basically merged together to form Kamara. It is an unimaginably large ship that is no longer a ship, it's a city. It has towers and spikes going everywhere. It's impossible to navigate unless you were born there. It has the Dark Library, which has tons of secrets that very few people, if anybody, ever gets to read. It is a realm within the Webway, completely like devoted to the excess, debauchery, torture, everything evil that spawns Slaanesh. Because so long as they use excess, Slaanesh will not eat them. They figured out how to like flesh warp. So if you're gonna go and do something dangerous,
Schwarp?
you pay a like dark elf flesh shaper, I forget their actual name in lore, to have like a bit of your flesh on standby and clone you and put your soul back in your body.
Which is how
So
they
they
resurrect.
figured out a way, yeah, of rebirth and resurrection, and they are completely devoted to like insane slavery. They have fighting pits. They have the plays that go on, and they like shove a chainsaw up one of the spectators from the seat to make it more interesting. They randomly do any sort of like evil nonsense. They launch into real space with raiding parties to capture slaves so they can continue to torture and just be evil, horrible people. Well, elves. Then you have the what's the main Eldari faction? They float around on the big ships.
Are you expecting an answer from one of us?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
I already said what they are. They're
I've
the
got
main
no
one.
fucking idea.
Say it again.
Eric,
just
you
to-
should know.
Yeah, say it again just to see if James figures it out.
Okay. They have massive, like, continent-sized ships. They're the feudal Japanese caste.
But this is just the
They are the-
Eldari.
It's the craft world Eldar.
Craftworld Eldari.
Basically, James, how I would summarize it is they're the Eldar who saw that their whole civilization was getting fucked with degeneracy and are like, fuck this, we gotta leave. So that's what they did.
Yep, they dipped out, and now they're incredibly stringent, hence the feudal Japanese caste. Like, that is their basis of, like, their inspiration in writing from a meta point of view. They don't do debauchery. They don't do evil stuff. Well, they sometimes do evil stuff, but that's a point of view.
They don't do degeneracy.
They
Well,
live
from a-
frugally, no longer in excess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very like we
Out
will
of
not call
a-
it Slaanesh as our ancestors did type thing.
Out of curiosity, is the laughing god part of their mythology, or is that
That's just like an
Pre-Craft
Eldari god. They don't necessarily.
yeah? But is
worship them.
that like that's pre-craft world? But do the craft world Eldars view the laughing god as debauchery or pre-debauchery?
I think they view it as pre-debauchery.
Okay,
'Cause but most of the elder gods were eaten by Slaanesh. Only a few of them escaped.
And they were
I
real
think the
gods
ones that-
though?
Yeah, they had actual gods.
Oh wow, okay.
James, look at it like this. There's like reality, which is like where all the like corporeal beings manifest, and then there's
Mhm.
the warp, which is where all the gods manifest. Imagine
Okay.
you're an Eldar god just chilling, and then your humans that you're not really taking care of all that well fuck up so much that a different being comes and eats you.
Yeah, they spawned the bigger
That's rough.
fish.
Yeah.
A few survived. There is Isha, goddess of like life, fertility, healing. She's currently hanging out with grandfather Nurgle, having a great old time.
Oh god, poor
We're
her.
not getting into that because we're not allowed. That's
Mhm,
chaos.
mhm.
James, have you ever
There
heard
is-
of the jar? Have you ever heard of the jar?
We're not getting into this.
Which
What? There's
It's
the
okay.
laughing god.
Different,
there
different,
is,
different.
Yvraine worships this one. It's like the Yanari.
Oh fuck! Is she wisdom?
No, she's the cycle of like death and rebirth.
Okay, yeah,
This is how they brought back Gilliman, and you'll see memes.
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Yvraine and
Death and
Gilliman's-
rebirth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes yeah.
But very few survived because Slaanesh ate them all. So all of a sudden, also Slaanesh will eat Eldar souls actively.
That's one.
And we talked about how, like, the Dark Elves, they effectively like feed Slaanesh excess in order to keep Slaanesh off of them.
Mhm.
The Craft World do the opposite. They do not give into excess at all. They use something called Soul Stones and Bone Wraith constructs. They're Forge Worlds or the Craft Worlds. Sorry.
Does Slaanesh eat more Eldar souls than the Emperor requires Psychers to survive?
This is theory territory, and I'm really glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Because,
Nick,
I can dive into this one.
I'm
Nick-
just wondering
Nick,
which
feel
one's
free
more
to-
detrimental to the society.
Nick, feel free to
Slaanesh.
correct me. Feel
Okay.
free to correct me, but I believe like Emperor is active. He actively requires you to feed him souls. Slaanesh
He's
is
a thousand.
passive. If you don't do something to prevent it, Slaanesh eats your soul.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So the Emperor is being. This is post
Current.
30K.
Current 40k. Current 40k.
End
I
of
just
Horus
know.
Heresy is
I
when
just
it
know he
starts.
takes like
Sure.
1,000 Psychers a day to survive or something.
Yeah, he's hooked up to the Psyker juice in his life support chair. That is the Golden Throne.
So
To be honest,
Slaanesh-
that's kind of okay. I'm gonna be honest. 1,000 Psyker souls a day is kind of small. Given
That-
a
No,
40
it is not. What the fuck?
Yeah, it
The
is.
Psychers make up a very small portion, and it's only
But-
like 365,000 humans a year.
That's a
But
crazy amount of people.
yes,
Million
but-
worlds. There are a million
Million-
worlds. Most hive
Imagine-
cities measure in
yes.
the billions.
Yes.
Most worlds
365,000 a year is still a huge ass number, man.
over
Yeah, but-
10,000 years, and
Over
in
a
the more
million
recent, like
planets.
42nd millennium,
A
now
million
eating-
planets.
yep, like a million worlds that they hold.
That's tiny.
Their population is basically limitless.
It's
They
a
are
lot of
one
fucking
of the
people.
largest horde armies in the setting. The others being like the Tyranids and the Orcs.
Mhm. Where are my boys the towers at?
The Tau,
They're
Don't
they're
answer,
a,
don't answer that. Don't answer that. That'll be.
They don't
funny.
exist yet.
Okay, good.
They don't exist
They-
yet, James. We're talking.
That's
40K-ish.
hilarious. It's hilarious that James's favorite army doesn't exist in 30k.
Yeah, they don't. They're not real yet.
You say it's my favorite
Actually-
army,
actually-
like I've ever
actually,
played
that's
the
not
game
true.
before.
If I remember correctly, James, your people like Taos are discovered in like what 32k, and they're deemed unintelligent, and then in 40k they're where they are now.
The Tau are like less than 7,000 years old in
see.
Warhammer 40K.
40k.
So
Gotcha.
they don't exist yet. They haven't evolved.
Honestly, if 40k was happening right now, we would be the Tau. Actually, we'd be pre-Tau.
Yeah, we haven't united as a singular communist government.
Yes, that's
The
true.
greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's why James likes the cow, because there's the space communists.
Okay, listen, don't tell
Yeah,
my
they
boss that.
So when the tower first written, they were supposed to be the good guys of the setting. They were actually based off of like World
That's-
War II
That's yeah.
America.
They are the
Now,
good guys.
because it's grimdark, there can be no good guys.
They are the
Yes.
good
No-
guys.
You're not allowed to have good guys in Grimdark.
They're just blob, as far as I know.
If you're a good guy in Grimdark, you're cursed. Speaking of, here's a completely random tangent. What is the most non-lethal curse you can give to someone?
Bro,
Like that you can think of off the
Bro.
top of your head?
how can you turn a tangent of 40k into a tangent of something else?
Because I'm
Non-lethal curse,
based.
you live
Non-lethal.
forever, but you continue to age.
That's fun. Mine, Nick, here's mine. Every day you swap type diabetes. So one day you're type 2 diabetes, one day you're type 1
That's
diabetes.
lethal.
No, because you know when you swap.
I mean, it could be lethal.
Every day you get shot with a different caliber of gun at the same time. It's
you're
not like
always
you
outside of
know you're
hospital.
gonna
No. One day you produce not enough insulin, the other day you produce too much. You can track that. That can be a calendar hack.
Wait, it's not produced. No, one of them is like you don't produce insulin. The other one's your body doesn't like receive or accept the insulin. Isn't that how diabetes works?
I thought it was you can't produce it, and the other one is you can accept it.
That's what I just said.
Okay. Well, my curse is nothing you do can be seen by a person ever. That's it.
That's interesting.
Sorry, does that mean that whatever you do, no one sees it, or you can't do anything while you're being seen?
It's like nothing that you do will ever be acknowledged by another person ever.
Okay, so I save the world. No one knows it.
Nobody knows it.
I
Nobody
rob a
acknowledges
bank.
it.
No one knows it.
I rob a bank. No one knows it.
Nobody acknowledges it. It's like there might be some ways to play to be happy, but at the same
So-
time, like you're just gonna
So
be
here's
sad.
my question. Are you does people recognize your existence? Like if I bump into someone on the street, do they notice they bumped into someone, or do they just not notice at all?
Yeah, they notice, but they don't acknowledge the significance of it in their lives.
Yeah, but they don't need to. I notice. I
Okay,
know.
so you're basically like forgotten by everybody around you.
Yeah, in a lastful, impacting way. Yeah.
So fun fact, James, that comic book character already exists.
Who is it?
It is a X-Men. His whole power is he's immediately forgotten by the greater world. Professor X has to give himself mental commands to remember this person exists. But he has saved the world an uncountable number of times.
Okay, well that's the curse.
Like,
Okay.
he
So the tower don't
He-
exist.
back to 40K.
Wait,
back to
Slaanesh,
40K.
hold on.
Gotta get back on track.
Slaanesh has already been born. What else is there to talk about?
I think we're done for now, Nick, for 40K. I think we've covered
I
Slanesh.
haven't. No, I was talking about the Craft World Eldar and how they rebirth.
True,
And
that's
stave
fair.
off Slash.
By giving
They put
flesh
their
to some
soul into the
beasts.
stone, and then they get put into the Wraithbone construct and the Eternity Web, which forms their craft worlds, also their armor and weapons. Their armor and weapons are powered by the dead.
Mm.
In old lore, if you wanted to pilot one of like their big mechs, you had to have a dead twin put into the stone, and that was your co-pilot.
That's pretty weird. Pretty grim. Pretty dark.
Yeah. Now there's still a bunch more. Like there's the techno barbarians of Earth and the fall of Mars, but that's not Eldar Slaanesh. That is still pre 30K.
We'll get there eventually. Trust me.
I don't. Okay.
James, listen. Nick and I know the lore. James is playing the video game. Is playing the tabletop.
Wait,
We
this
will
podcast
eventually
already
get there.
exists. I already watched this podcast, guys.
Yeah,
So-
but you don't get to role play it.
So
We have our own DK. Goddammit.
if the question is just we don't need parental guidance, we have a government funded program, will our values devolve to the level of the Eldar and we will summon Slaanesh? I think that the answer is no. Until we become like fully
I was just
Okay.
these were two separate topics. One was
Slaanesh?
we have government funded orphanages. The other is will we ever get to the point where we become the Eldar?
Slaanesh was born by some real fatherless behavior.
Yeah. We could get there. We could
It could happen.
theoretically birth a Slaanesh.
I
But
think
my
that
thought process,
yeah.
my thought process was we're too far into capitalism to eventually get to that point. I think we will, through capitalistic greed, we will end ourselves before we get to that point where
So you're
all our needs
saying-
are met.
If the Eldar had been capitalists, they wouldn't have been able to afford the birth of Slaanesh.
Yes, because they never would have been. My argument is we will never unify ourselves enough through capitalism to create Slaanesh.
Okay, so you're a Votan player.
Yes, I'm not actually, but yes.
Damn, we really have the Tau communists and the Votan capitalists. That's wild.
Is that what
It's just-
they're just capitalists?
So here's this is where we come back into real life. We our current wealth disparity is to a point. Again, I think the number is like 0.01% of the wealthiest population own 90% of the wealth. Unless
yeah,
we
it's a rough number like that.
unless we solve that issue, like if we get like the top 10% have the 90% of wealth, like that's a bad number, but that's currently better by 100% or like 1,000%
A factor of 100.
a factor of 100 than what we currently have. That's a lot of wealth given out to the mass population. With that amount of wealth, we might get to Slaanesh.
So that's
Currently-
like going back to the 70s in terms of wealth distribution. Like pre-Reagan era.
But pre-Reagan era was not the worst for us.
No. Actually, pre-Reagan era was one of the best times to be alive.
Mhm.
What's that browser doing? I see that.
Sorry, I was googling wealth disparity, and eight single human people have the same wealth as the poorest half of the world. Excuse me.
Okay, let's
Anyway.
get that number up to 10% of the population, please.
Yes, God.
Yeah,
God,
eight,
please,
eight, eight
please,
singular people.
God.
So
Wait,
very
8
few
out
people.
of 8 billion?
8 out of 8 billion own the same as the poorest 50%. So it's not 50% of wealth, but the amount that the 50% poorest own.
Yeah.
Which, like, to be fair, isn't a lot. So, like, that's not that surprising. They're like the 50%
billionth.
poorest are like pretty poor.
1 billionth owns the same amount as 50%.
Yeah, but the 50% is like the poor 50%. It's
Doesn't matter. 50% is at least 3 billion people.
I guess
If 8% of the world's population owns 3 billion% of the wealth,
4 billion.
4 billion% of wealth. That's not good.
yeah. It's
I'm
true.
gonna be known as the eat the rich guy, but maybe we should eat the rich. Did
We
ever
might
think of
need
that?
more Luigi's.
No, you gotta understand.
Oh,
eating the rich
we can
doesn't
never have
help
too
you.
much Luigi's.
It's because eating rich people doesn't distribute their wealth. You have to distribute it, like, systematically.
Now, all right. Here's my government funded orphanage. We make an orphanage of about 300 people. We all teach them expert computer science languages. We make them all hackers, and we all hack every bank in the world. And we funnel all that wealth into a centralized global capital, and then we distribute that equally.
Yeah, you know what? Pitch me the rest of this idea. I want to hear both of your, like, if you had to do the government-funded children idea, how would you do it successfului?
Successfully.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I can't.
So you
computer
make them all
science.
you make them all
that was
hackers.
That was a meme.
Oh, so boarding school. Basically, like they're just going to boarding school.
Like that's
That
how
I
you
do
do it?
agree with. Mine would
Yeah,
also be a boarding school. To be clear,
like maybe there is the boarding school for grades. I don't know. I'll mimic the elementary school system, even though I hate it. It's dog shit.
Mhm.
1 to 8. Then you get the high school.
Mhm.
9. I'll add grade 13. I think people need an extra year.
9 to 13. Okay.
9 to 13. So now you're at least 18 years old, which is the current standard for adult. This is when it's like, okay, your interests should have been
Developed.
developed. You should have like the vaguest, roughest idea. Now you go into stage 3 of boarding school, which would be a skilled trade, a like a general science, a general whatever degree you're going into. Like that's the third step of the education.
Mhm.
And you get that college university entry diploma.
Mhm.
Be it whatever the like person specializes in. Like you would go to a trade school
Right.
university if it's the like it just makes sense at that point. Like you just do like normal things and then you're released into society.
Interesting.
And maybe there is like less of a strict regimen as you move up through the years. So like ages 1 to like 5, that would just be like daycare 24/7 type boarding school.
Mhm.
You're just there to like keep the child alive.
And teach them some
I-
basic skills, right?
Okay.
Right, Nick?
Yeah, no, and teach them like you're teaching the basics. You're teaching
Okay.
them the like the ages
Nick-
1 to 5 nonsense. Like
Nick,
it's the
let me-
basic.
Nick, let me know when you're done because I have a completely different opinion.
Me too.
And then as they go through early life, you're teaching them more and more complex skills, and they're still under fairly like strict guidance. They still have a schedule. They're still like enforced. High school, you start to loosen off a little bit, and then it's in university where it goes from like strict and down as you continue through, and then you're into the society.
Mhm.
But you are given like the skills, the development, the like emotional mental updates throughout your life.
Mhm.
More or less that.
Okay. Here's my plan. This is under the assumption I have unlimited funding. I can have one person completely observe one child from whatever age range I decide.
Mhm.
This is under this assumption. 0 to 5, completely teaching the child basic survival skills and observing natural interests. If the child loves music, if a child loves imagination, if a child loves building things, whatever they enjoy to do as their primary form of entertainment, keeping note of that. 6 to 10, taking whatever primary thing they enjoyed doing and emphasizing it. If they were prone to music, what instrument do they like? What music do they gravitate towards? Are they a DJ?
Right.
Are they
Right.
clarinet? Are they drum? Are they guitar? Whatever, piano, whatever that is. That is 6 to 10 in age range. 10 to 14, whatever they had the primary interest in, emphasize that as career path. So they loved piano when they were 6 to 10, emphasize that towards a career. They learned piano, they've learned everything they need to know about piano. They learned how to create their own music, all that. If they like building things, what type of things do they like building? Cars, education in building cars. Like buildings, education in building like foundations. Whatever they like to do, emphasize that in a specifics in 10 to 14. 14 to 18, if there are like a hands-on craft, send them into the workforce to gain like apprenticeship experience. If they're more theoretical, if they're like doctors, enter them into early medical school. At 18, everyone should know the career path they enjoy the most.
There's like
Eric, at 18, you went into law.
it's
At 18, I
today's
thought Yeah, but we have like 10 years where we know absolutely nothing about ourselves.
Yeah. It's today's
We can
society, but
optimize
like better
that.
supported, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
We can optimize that so hard.
That is
Maybe that would.
fair.
I don't know if that would work. But maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
what
it's
did you
basically
like?
just it's a better
Well,
approach to career. It's just a better approach to careers. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah, here's my thing. Everything I like to do now, I like to do when I was 6 years old.
Really.
Yes, I liked video games at 6. I liked climbing trees at 6.
That's all you like?
Now,
Well,
That's
you're still playing
everything
video
you
games and
like?
climbing, so
well,
What the-
that's like the generalization. But like at 6 years old, I like climbing trees and I like playing video games. I currently play video games now, and I rock climb now. Similar enough that I would say that if you had led me from 6 years old to 18, if you just forced me on that path, I would have kept enjoying video games and I would have learned how to climb rocks better.
Well, like
I
I
could
didn't enjoy
probably-
coding or managing people when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, but you
don't
weren't
enjoy it now. that
you
you're
weren't
25.
coding at 5 years old.
Wait, you're right. It's just my point is like, how can you
You
rely
had
on a
no
5-year-old?
you had no mindset to coding at 5 years old. But if you were taught like child level coding at 5 years old, I feel like if you kept with that, you would still enjoy coding.
Fair. So your point is like, give the child the opportunities to know exactly what they want and then capitalize on that.
Yes, like
Okay.
literally 0 to 5 is to see what interests the child, like generalizations. 6 to 10 years old, emphasize those generalizations. If it changes, go with that change. If it doesn't, at 11 to
Right.
16, hardcore in on that for like careers. And
Okay,
at
anybody
18,
with ADHD would fall through the cracks of the system so hard.
listen, in this society, we've CRISPR'd ADHD out of the genome.
You know, but-
Ah!
All right,
wait,
what's your
we're-
idea?
we're-
James?
oh, my idea? Okay. Okay. So, from mine's going to be similar to yours, Eric. Is the sense is like the goal is to provide the child with the mentorship and career opportunities early. And so
Mhm.
the system would be that none of the child, like the caregivers to the children, would be a position that is chosen by volunteer. They would all be
Mhm.
mandatory, done by people as like a conscription at some point in their lives. And so that everybody
Mhm.
has to participate in this system. Well,
Okay.
how we would orient it is like school and education would be relatively similar to how it is now, ideally better, but you know, whatever. That's not my focus. But the key thing that I think I would like to add is that through this conscription process, one of the ways you have to contribute to this child's like development is you become the role model for them for a year period, and they would switch the role model every single year to be a different person. And but you wouldn't be mentored by this person in just the way that a parent is right now, where like you live with them, you get provided by them, and like they just talk to you. It would be more like an actual mentorship. So I might live with you, but I'll also go to work with you. I'll see like what your work environment's like, what your skills are like. I'd see what society has to offer somebody in your career. And then they would cycle that through as many times as we could fit in. So whether it's every year, every 2 years, whatever is, emotionally healthy for the child to not feel like they're being juggled around by adults, that would be how we would operate it. So they would go and live with somebody and work with somebody for a couple of years at a time and get an idea of like, here's all these industries, how they operate, here's all these people, their differing values, how they change, and how they're different from societies. And the goal is like learn as much as you can. Upsides is you'd have children who aren't like in an echo chamber where they have adults who are, super conservative, super Republican, super liberal, super whatever. You just have like a bunch of different adults who are imposing their wills on you. Downsides, there's a lot of variability in that system. You gotta trust the adults that they like don't just fuck up the child for the 2 years they live with them. That's my system. That's it.
I'm under the opinion that adults influence children to a degree.
Only
I
to
don't
a
believe
degree.
I don't believe an adult influences a child's interest enough to make it a relevant part of their life. I think a child can like, if I'm like, oh, I love playing music, and my like dad or mom is like, music is stupid, never do it. If they do that for like 18 years, then I will not be able to like, I will not develop enough of an knowledge base to enjoy music. But if like my parent does not influence what I like throughout my life, I think I will keep maintaining that.
Like, yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. I feel like adults definitely don't impact children in the way that they think that they do, in like influencing where they want to go and who they are. But every experience that a person has influences who they are. So
Yes.
from a moral standpoint, I think every perspective that they gain will impact them in some way, whether that's for the better or the worse.
I think children gain like a natural like influence on things they enjoy if they're not in early age, if they're not negatively like influenced based off of that. Like if I enjoy music, if when I'm like a 2-year-old, if from 2 to like 10, my parent doesn't say music is stupid and it's like negatively impacts me from playing music, I think I will enjoy that until throughout my life. Vice versa, if I enjoy like piano playing and I'm relatively good at it, if I'm not hyper forced into it, like my parents sees that I enjoy
Yeah.
playing the piano and then they give me like 16 hours of piano playing a day from like 6 to 10. If they let me naturally enjoy it, I think I will continue that. If they force it on me, I will resent
Mhm.
it. And if they discourage it, I will also resent it. That's how I view it. It's like a Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I also feel like children don't actually, sorry, not children. People don't really care what they do for a living. I feel like the trauma is what shapes them in that regard.
Yes. Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
as a 5-year-old, I don't know that I want to play piano, but I might not enjoy creative outlets because I was never encouraged to do them as a child, or I was even like shamed into them. And so
Yes.
like
Yeah.
as a 5-year-old wouldn't know what they want to be, but they definitely know what brings them joy as a result of those things. So
Yes. My
yeah.
my view on it is like if I'm like a child, I play the piano like I get like a fake keyboard, like a keyboard that's just like a strip of
Mhm.
paper on the ground, and I enjoy like slamming my fingers on it as a kid. If I at like 1 and 2, if at 3 years old I am given like a toy that makes noise when I do that, and I enjoy that, and I can translate it, and then at 5, 6, I'm given like a baby's keyboard that plays music when I do it. I think you can follow that path all the way up to like 18 and make an expert piano player.
Mhm. Yeah,
As
I
long
agree.
as like as long as at like 9 through like 16, my piano teacher doesn't like abuse me when I play the piano.
So I think we're aligned on how to raise kids, but on
Yeah.
how to birth kids, I think that there's an interesting a point of contention is now imagine if I could birth a child who is genetically predisposed to play piano better than any other child on earth. Is that moral? Like if
I
is our breeding program, our birthing program to genetically make children superior in certain aspects, is that okay?
here's specifically where I differentiate from like athletes and pianists. I
Mhm.
don't think piano is genetic. Like I don't think creativity is genetic. I
Ooh,
think I think
ooh, that's
creativity
interesting.
is purely nurture.
Right, but what if like
I'm
you're a
gonna
child who
disagree.
has extra long fingers? I don't know, like something that gives you an actual benefit.
There is in terms of like specifically piano, extra long fingers make you play octaves, but someone with shorter fingers will find a way to play an octave.
They move their arm more.
They move their arm there. Like if they have the passion, like creativity as like a whole, I think is purely nurture. Obviously, like an athlete, like I birth
Mhm.
a child who will grow to have longer legs and enjoys this, they will make a better athlete. Like things that involve pure physicality and then you add passion onto it will make a better athlete.
Yeah.
For things like a writer, pianist, a musician, I don't think like you can make someone who has like let's say they have shorter fingers. they will figure out a way, if they have the passion, to play the guitar just as well as someone with longer fingers.
I think I agree with you in the sense that like the creative aspect of it is genetic, whether the physicality allows for it or not. Whatever, who cares? But
Well,
Yeah.
unless I birth a child with no arms and they're a pianist, I think I'm fine.
Haven't you seen the Olympic archer who has no arms? They shot
Yeah,
with their
and
phone and the president tried to handshake them.
Yeah, like that guy has so much passion for this shit. His own lack of limbs can't stop him from winning a gold
Yeah.
medal.
I guess
Like,
the
come
real
on.
point is nobody's born to be a pianist. They're born to be a musician, and a piano might be an avenue for that, but like that, it doesn't have to be. That you would,
Yeah,
That's not the point. Yeah. I agree.
Again, I think the creative aspect is like purely nurture, and I think
I
that
don't think the capability of creativity is purely nurture. I think that is also, at least in part, genetic.
no, it's the reason I think it's nurture is because you can train someone out of something that they're good at. But if you leave it alone, or if you encourage it, it develops insanely.
So you can, yes. But the reason I think that the creativity is at least in part genetic is similar to other physical limitations. Like certain people are just predisposed to be better or worse athletes from a genetic get-go. Training always makes a huge difference.
Yes, but this is on creative aspects. I think music is creative more than physical.
So what I was going to say is behind creativity, I do think there is a genetic aspect in a similar way that athletes have their physical genetic aspects. Certain people don't have. It's kind of like the entire like intelligence, and then there's emotional intelligence, and then there's like a million other ways of recording intelligence. And some people just score higher in certain areas. So even if you love music, you might have absolutely no ability to like keep a rhythm or a beat. There are some people who are not necessarily like disposed to the creativity that their passions require. Through training, they might be able to overcome it, but that's similar to a short person playing basketball, a slow runner by nature learning to sprint fast.
Gentlemen, I have a crazy question for you.
The people who
Yeah,
are
let's
like,
hear it.
just 1 second, the people who are genetically disposed to be better can still have all of the same training, and then they will be better at said thing due to having the training, the passion, and the genetic disposition. Some people just don't have the genetic disposition to their passion. They can still be amazing at it. They're just not, I can deadlift 500 kilograms, freak of nature, genetic mutation, passion level
Mhm.
athlete.
I agree. Okay, that's fair. That's a good point. My only question is if someone is let's not go average. Like you can be average at something and passion can make up for it. If you're insanely bad at something but you have a passion for it, can that make up enough to make you not lose that passion?
You would have to be either of like insane will or like if you're severely disabled in
I
that
think
area.
the answer
like,
is no. It's like Eric.
That-
What
like,
is
probably
your
like,
league?
that-
What is your League of
that-
Legends rank right
That's
now?
that's my argument. Like
this Batman
I agree that like
you can't just hit me with that, James. Damn.
so Nick, I agree.
Oh my god, that's Eric, you didn't even hear him, did you?
I did not even hear it.
Good.
Oh no.
Eric,
so
you
Nick-
might be the pug. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Go watch
So
More
Nick-
Squad.
I
Go watch
I will
the-
ask you to repeat. I will ask Nick to repeat it later. My question was, you can be average at something, but have your passion not be diminished by your lack of talent in the subject to make you
You
relevant.
can be average at something, but not have a lack of passion diminish your talent at something. Is that what you just asked?
Yeah. So like I'm average at playing the piano, but I love the piano so much I like learned to just go through that. Obviously, I'm worse at the piano than someone who is talented at it and loves it. But my question is, if I am terrible at the piano, but I like the piano, would my terribleness at the piano negate my passion for it through my childhood?
Oh, it fully could, depending on like that. That's too varied. Too many varied.
That's why I lean more towards nurture as being relevant for creative aspects than nature.
Oh, I'm not saying like I disagree with that statement. I am saying that it is more nuanced.
I
Which
agree with
leads
that.
me to say that a more nuanced statement would be a better way of saying it than
That's-
that. That is where my disagreement comes from.
That's fair. We're on a podcast though. We can't have nuanced statements. We're all in. We're
I'm
all
posting
in,
the bug
baby.
photo in context then.
Okay, are you guys left
Yeah.
or right-eyed?
I don't know.
I'm right-eyed.
I don't know.
My right eye is the one
Is
that's
this
constant.
like when you have to focus on something, you close one eye, leave the other one open? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it's like when you like are aiming a gun or a bow and arrow or like looking at your finger and you like close one eye. Which one makes your finger move?
Which one makes my finger move?
So like
What
if you close an eye and it makes your finger like appear to move against the background, it means that eye is the one that's your eye. So like if you're aiming a gun and you close your right eye, that's like your main eye. It's the one you aim with. Is this crazy to you guys?
Am I supposed to be looking at my finger or the background?
the finger?
It doesn't move.
Okay. Let's revisit this on another one.
You need to be asking, are you like right-eyed or left-eyed?
Yeah, are
That's
you right or
one
left
thing.
hand?
Are you right-hand or left-hand?
I'm ambidextrous.
I'm also ambidextrous.
Alright, fuck, you guys are just the worst. So my observation while we were having this discussion is I'm right-eyed, and crazy, my dick swings to the left. Now, the way I'm...
Anyway, so on this
There
week's
is a-
podcast, we discussed eugenics. James thinks that the answer is communism. Eric supports it, and I try to talk about
You didn't even
Warhammer
let me
40K
finish, what the
without getting
hell?
kicked off the podcast. Anyways,
The
I
reason
think we've
is...
been going for 2 hours, and this is a great end.
At least let me finish
No.
my freaking thought. What the heck?
I think we need, honestly,
Pull the
we have
plug.
not. To be honest, we're not
I
at a
did.
conclusive
I
ending
already
to anything.
did the
We should
meme
keep going.
from Top Gear. I already did it. Pull the plug. End the episode.
I'm pretty sure that my
No, we
dick
need to
only
keep
goes
going.
left
We
because
need
I
to
have
keep
to aim it
going.
left so the P doesn't move when I close my right eye. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. And for that reason, dick angle is nurture, not nature.
Why are you closing your right eye when you urinate?
Well, no, I was like playing with my eyes and my dick. No, I don't know. It just happened, okay? I just realized. I realized if I close my right eye, I
Alright.
started peeing in the wrong fucking direction, and it went out of the fucking toilet.
Already.
But if my head was open, then the pee was aligned with my dick, and it went
James,
straight.
The real question, what hand do you use?
I was using my right hand.
So you use your right hand.
You're right. It could be ambiguous. I don't know if my hand or my eye was the one that affects the direction of my dick. But my conviction is that whichever eye or hand you have, you're constantly holding it that way, like once or twice a day, and that's what influences the direction your dick curves. So I wanted to know.
I will disprove that straight out.
Okay.
I am in sports. I am left-handed.
Okay.
When I write, I'm right-handed.
And
When
your
I
dick goes
use
to the
my
left?
hands on my wang, I am ambidextrous.
Okay.
So I disprove it straight up.
Wait, but which way does your dick curve?
Straight.
You're ambidextrous. So that means you put it between
That
both
doesn't
hands.
disprove it.
That
oh,
means
God.
straight makes sense then, because it's balanced. Nick, is yours straight too? Uh-oh.
When I
Are you
That's
checking
correct.
or are you embarrassed? Yeah. Listen, Douglas, shut the fuck up. This is a normal. Are you left or right? Tell us. Reveal it in chat.
Give me a second. I have to take a photo.
What? Okay, I'd like to be clear. My dick is straight unless I'm hard. It's a matter of like flesh, not a matter of blood.
Yeah, no.
So like, are you getting yourself
Look,
hard
you're
right
still
now
yapping. I
on
can't take a
screen?
photo while you're yapping.
Sorry,
Nothing
my
will-
voice gets
it
you
won't show
soft.
anything.
My
Marcus,
bad.
have you been here the whole time, or are you just tuning in?
Listen, Nick. Pixar didn't happen.
I'm a trained professional? Huh?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, you know what? To all 11 people who are going to watch this video, everybody go home, check your dick, see which way it goes, check your eyes. If it's the opposite, I think I'm onto something. If it's not,
Anyways,
then you
hi,
know what?
Paula.
Base.
It's
To be
nice
clear-
that you're watching this
To
episode.
be clear,
Thank
Paula
you
has
for
not
supporting
been here.
James.
Paula has not been here. It's just been you and I, Nick, this whole time.
And thank Christ for that.
No,
man.
but just on the off chance James's mother, Paula, ends up watching this episode,
She will not.
Mhm.
But, wait, is that the end of the episode?
It depends. Are we ending the episode here, or are we gonna keep going?
I already did the outro. I don't know why.
Nah. You just
Like, bonus
you just
content.
said you wanted to do the outro. We can deny.
What's that sound called? The outro music. The wah, 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 wah.
You don't have an outro music, so we don't have one yet.
I know I don't. Well, what's
What?
the outro?
What are you talking about?
It's like closing
Closing time is not the outro music. It's because it will trick.
Okay, listen. I googled outro music and I fucking found it. So stream's listening to it.
What are you
What do you mean
Very
streamers are listening to it?
You guys can't hear it, but stream can. It's 34 seconds long. When it's over, the stream's fucking ending. Do you have any closing remarks, or are we good?
You need better closing. music.
Closing time.
Okay, well,
Open all the
it's only
doors,
half
like
over, so we gotta keep
floating
talking until the end of the video.
No, I know. I
Closing
listened to the
time.
closing music. It's like the most default closing music you can make.
It is. We got 4 seconds left. Bye, everybody.
Oh.